What's going on, ladies? Oh, my goodness gracious.
So glad we're back in studio. It's been a long time since we've been here.
We haven't been here since before the summer, actually.
Has it been that
long? We were
long?
doing outdoor shots all summer long. Yeah.
Amazing.
And even into the fall. We were doing outdoor shots on location.
Farms and caught up there.
All right.
We were in Hamburg, Chestnut Ridge.
all over the place. Now we're back.
And now we are back.
We're back for season 2.
Yeah, episode 11.
Episode
November.
11.
Yeah, so much to update. We have
I know.
Look at us.
a feature in Real Producers
Cover
magazine.
Girl.
I mean, who knew? We are cover girls.
Yeah, let's dive into this. Let's talk about. Tell me about your experience on Real Producers.
Oh my gosh.
It was so fun.
It was very flattering to get a call.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a magazine where they feature like the top 300 realtors in any given market. So this is the Buffalo Real Producers, but they have those in other cities as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and got that call. Did we want to have an article? Actually, no. We were not. We were
They're
not.
shy. The girls are shy. They don't want to
Yes.
do any video work, no photo work.
Well, I believe the call went straight to Bethany. If it would have come to mind and been like, what time we meeting?
Where and when?
Yeah.
We don't
Hair and
want to sound
makeup.
too
Yeah.
anxious.
Yeah.
Catering.
Yeah. Where's the green room?
Yeah,
Perfect.
I need to relax
I
first.
only like the green M&Ms, please. I would like a full bowl of just green.
No, but I love it. They really took time. Like if you read the article, they took time to get to know us as individuals and how we are together as friends, as coworkers. And so the whole article is based on like the beauty of working together, but also really more importantly, having that friendship. And which is what keeps work so fun, right? Is
Right.
when you have this deep-rooted relationship with your coworkers that you can rely on and trust and that know you even better outside of work.
Right. And
Yeah.
nice to have, nothing. It's no surprise, right? Any job is there because you make money. But it was an article that was featured nothing to do with how great as far as agents we are, how much we produce, nothing like that. It was really rooted in friendship and what we're all about, whether it's working with clients or each other.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's the three of us. It's with
Yes.
Karen Baker as well.
I mean-
And
3.5.
yeah.
Right.
Who doesn't want to be on any cover with that Karen Baker? She is our good friend. She is definitely the best agent in Buffalo.
Dynamo.
She learned
So-
from the best Barbara Baker, and we love being a part of it. So
Yeah. Yeah. So this was really special. Thank you, Real Producers. It was in the photo shoot. So fun.
the photo shoot was a lot of fun, and
Hysterical.
they pulled also some photos from us on the podcast, which
Yeah.
was fun. And that Hannah's Angel photo that Judd did,
Which is
really our favorite photo.
I know. We love that photo.
Maybe the whole reason we did the article.
It's just so we could put that photo in.
No, but it's true. I mean, I think the general public thinks that the real estate market is just so transactional. And, it's just a testament of, the friendship that goes above and beyond and the team building camaraderie that goes on inside of the office, not just with the house at that particular level, but it's so much more above and beyond.
Yeah. And I think the three of us really do understand and work so well together because we have similar traits. And really the relationships are important to us. Relationships with our clients, relationships with our coworkers, with attorneys, with home inspectors, with the community.
Right.
So
Right.
that's,
And it's nice if I'm not available to do something, it's nice to be able to pick up the phone and call someone like you or Karen who is going to give that same level of not only service and detail when we're looking at a home, but just kindness, and they're going to have the same experience with you that they have with me. So it's nice that we have each other's backs
Yeah.
that way as well.
Yeah. Which is great. Which is great. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was fun. So that happened.
That happened. We were there for the cover shoot.
Yes. Which is great. And what else happened?
What else? You've
did
been
we
on
miss?
some college tour visits.
Yeah.
It's exciting times in our lives.
It's busy and exciting. You know, personally, we're still renovating our new home.
We're going to be on season 12, episode 5.
So
and Marty's going to be like, we're still renovating.
So maybe I'll do a little sneak peek because our first project is almost done, and that's a bathroom.
Oh, great.
There's so many projects, but maybe I'll do a little sneak peek once a month, and that'll keep us on task of having a project done every month.
A real live HGTV.
Yes,
How nice.
right,
That'll be
right.
fun.
We just pulled the carpets upstairs, and we're redoing the hardwood floor because though the home is from 1920, the beautiful hardware has never seen the light of day. So let it shine.
Sure.
Right?
Yes. What color are you letting it shine in?
It's going to be, we're just doing it the natural color. Yeah. You know, au natural. I'm very natural.
Any projects going on in your home?
You know, summer concert series seems to be.
Lives on.
It seems to be lingering in the garage. All the equipment, the stage
You know what
setup,
that
the
means.
backdrops.
Not just for summer.
So I have a goal every year of trying to get at least one vehicle into the garage by October 31st.
Coming right up.
It's coming up fast. So I think that I'm gonna try and work on that. And considering it's early November, I think that I'm probably a little bit behind the deadline, but not far. We haven't had any snow yet, so I think I'm still okay.
Yeah.
And I have just a little bit of patio furniture and stuff to kind of button up a little bit, but.
What car are you putting in the garage? Is it going to be the
Usually
Suburban?
Heather's. No, Heather's. I like for her to just be free in the morning and not have to brush off the car and have the girls be cold and stuff. So
So Judd's added a third car because Cole had to downsize. That Suburban was not meant for the hills of West Virginia.
Oh.
yeah,
It's a tough road there. They're narrow, and so he downsized, and now Judd's son, the Suburban, lives on in the Lori
Does he
family.
like it?
the Spirit. Well, he's going to be 16 in December,
Oh, he's not driving it yet.
so
Okay.
not quite yet. But we've been around
It's
to
like a
some
tank.
So it is a tank.
He'll be very safe.
Yeah. And
And the smell in that Suburban is
it's a combination of motor oil and mothballs. And
special.
and a little bit of pine tree air freshener. And so I encourage him, because he's really, he's a man child. He's big and he's very capable of. I brought him on some landscaping projects with me over the summer. We were doing some tree work, and I encourage him to make the most of the truck. And to, if he wants to go out and play some music or do some landscaping, I encourage him to be very entrepreneurial with it. To get out and do something with it.
You can fit a lot in the back of that Suburban.
Nice.
When I first got my first truck, I started DJing at 15, 16 years old. And then it was a blessing when my father didn't have to take me to gigs anymore.
Yeah.
I had a massive sound system, and I'm out doing stuff. And, having a vehicle for a young man is just, it teaches him so much. So I'm hoping that I'll make the most of it.
Yeah. Or a young woman.
Or a young woman. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will teach him to just drive in his neighborhood because the per gallon gas charge on that thing.
It's
Not electric.
steep. Steep.
Got it.
Prices are high. Steep.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
Yes. So
Yeah. How about you?
Well, that's
How about you?
exciting. No real projects. We painted the bathroom and I wallpapered in the bedroom. That was earlier in the year, but really nothing. I'm actually in the process of kind of decluttering. And
We're going back to the declutter. Okay.
rid of, I know, Jane,
have
lives
grace.
on. Give yourself grace.
Yeah.
Well, I've given myself a lot of grace with what I've collected. So I'm just trying to kind of get it out.
Are we talking clothing? Are we talking furniture? Like pantry, all the above?
All of the above. I mean, you know that I did a deep dive into the freezer earlier last month.
Tell us what you found.
I did find one of Barb's cookies and it had shamrocks on it. So
Oh, that's a treat. That's lucky.
it was a lucky.
Which St. Patrick's Day was it from?
I don't know if it was this St. Patrick's Day or last year's St. Patrick's Day.
Doesn't matter. I'm sure it was magically delicious.
Either way, I was a winner. Finding that cookie. I did not share it with anyone in my house. I ate it up right away. It was still,
I'd like to see. Have you ever seen those little picnic tables made for squirrels, like the squirrel feeder?
Oh, we
I'd like
have
to
one
see
of
the guinea
those.
pigs sitting next to you having a little bit of that cookie.
Yes.
And then they get a little crumb and they get a little crumb and then you
Yes, they would probably
little
like
picnic.
that.
My imagination.
So yes, I mean, just it's that time of year where I'm inside. I like to be cleaning it out. So get it recycled, get it off. I like thread up. I don't know if anyone else recycles clothing. Here's the thing for me. It just makes me angry when I go to one of the local consignment shops and they're like, I'll give you $1.50 for this shirt. I'm like, okay. Or they say, oh no, this is from 2 seasons ago and we won't accept it. Well, I don't I wear my clothes more than one season. So they don't always get to the consignment shop for $1.50 on the return. That's not a great ROI as it is. So I like it when I can box it up, send it to Thread Up. I probably still get $1.50 for it, but it's out of my house and then.
Nice.
I mean, that's right. That
And
takes
there's
a
less-
lot. I
there's
just
less
like put it in a
negotiating.
pile and donate,
Right?
which I should be doing, maybe looking at more. But actually, my clothes aren't that nice, so I don't know. But
I mean, if I'm getting $1.50 for it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I pay $25 for it or $500, right?
I wonder what I could get for one of my nice hardy outerwear
right,
bibs.
yes.
I saw an interview with Ralph Lauren, and he had on a shirt, like a plaid flannel shirt, and they were like, tell us about what collection that was from. And he's like, this is from Kmart. It was a blue light special.
This is my
love it."
Wrangler.
He's like, I love it, and I never take it off.
Nice.
Wow.
So I don't think it matters.
No.
Kmart's closed.
Yeah.
How old was that interview?
Well, I mean, the shirt was old. He was like, I think
but
this
he's
is
still-
from like the 70s.
Still
Kmart in the 70s.
still making it happen.
And he loved it.
They don't make them like that anymore.
No.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oof. Speaking of outdoor projects at our houses, we have a special guest that's coming on with us today.
Yes, Alan Willard from Specsure. He's a home inspector.
I think he's going to have some really, really useful, helpful tips to help us get ready for the winter. And he's such a nice guy, right? We've used him on home inspections. He's great.
Great guy, very thorough. I really like that he involves the buyer while he's there. I mean, they're not just there to watch; they're there to get involved in that inspection and really,
Learn
about their home.
Yeah, it's
what they're
educational.
buying.
Yeah.
And I find, I mean, I don't know how other agents feel, but I find when you have a home inspection, it kind of seals the deal and makes your buyers feel more confident in what they're getting.
It should be
So-
peace of mind. It shouldn't be a scary situation. I mean, if you find something bad, it can either be fixed or you are really preventing yourself from making a very bad, expensive purchase. Because we know of homes that have gone poorly for buyers because of a bad home inspection process. And Alan, has a great reputation for being very thorough and looking forward to talking with him.
Top notch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Amazing.
And then we're taking a little field trip
Yes, on
out of the
location.
studio.
Elmwood Franklin School. We get to go meet with the head of school, Ryan Kimmet, and hear about their fall so far and hear from Mr. Kimmet about upcoming educational trends and what it's all about.
What's going on in Western New York? We have an amazing school population. So
Yeah.
I think we've got a lot of schools here for the amount of students that we have. So there's some really good choices.
Yeah, so many choices, so many great schools.
Private, public.
Yep. So there are, I think that Western New York is really set up well for pre-K through 12th grade and universities. I mean, we have so many universities as well. But Elmwood Franklin is an independent school.
I'm excited to learn what that means.
Yeah, and you will. He'll explain. And it's pre-K through 8th grade. And it's located in the city, but students come from everywhere. So it'll be fun to learn about that. Yeah.
John went to school in the city.
I was at Canisius.
Yeah.
Canisius High School, and I loved it. I mean, it was my first opportunity to really get out of the South Towns from Orchard Park. And Orchard Park is very, very, I'm not going to say isolated, but when you're growing up, before the day of the internet, your experiences in the world are very limited. It's to really, I mean, just what your parents can provide for you. So going to a school in the city was really, I had that experience when, there were a lot of young men from neighboring communities from either in the city or from way out as far as maybe Alden or Akron. And you get a nice perspective, and just different experiences with some different lifestyles and
it's all
big
right.
melting
I mean,
pot.
I think that there's some real benefits to going to a neighborhood school as well, right? Like where you grow up together, everyone in the neighborhood, and then like what you're saying, there's also some wonderful attributes of like having that geographic diversity, pulling from so many different zip codes. So.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started. Let's welcome Ellen.
I can't wait.
All right, here we go.
Ladies, so we have a very special guest with us today.
He is more than fine. Alan Willard from Specsure in Property Inspections.
Welcome, Alan.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me today. I appreciate it.
I just dug back in my phone and found a photo from one of the very first inspections I did, one of the very first homes I sold. It was like all the way in Darien Lake. It was far. Of Alan and I, 2019.
Did you do some rides while you were there? Were you and Alan like on the roll? On the
On the Superman.
We should have made time. Alan's busy. He didn't have time to go to Darien Lake with
See
me
a
after.
It would have been fun.
This is really fun.
You're like, this is my favorite home inspector. Let's go hit the rides. How was that house? Do you remember it? Were you nervous?
I do know. It was a newer build home, and it was great. That was a great inspection. And so I think that's actually like lesson learned. Do the home inspection, whether it's a new house, whether it's an old house, it doesn't matter. You want to know what you're getting, especially at that point in time. I think people were really overpaying for homes. So when somebody's overpaying for a house, you want to know what you're getting.
Right. And there was a stretch, right, where it was you wanted to get the bid, you wanted to get the offer in. So a lot of people were waiving the home inspection, which, I'm not seeing that as much anymore. I think it does still happen, but not as much.
I agree. We are definitely a lot busier now than we were even last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I read a fun fact, 77% of homes sold with a home inspection last year.
Good. I mean, why not, right? I think that if a seller if they don't want to do a home inspection, then they have something to hide.
That's
right.
Always what I say too.
Right? Like, why not? It's nice to know going in as, I'm buying this home, even if it's like a punch list you have down the road, it's just nice to know kind of like what you're getting.
Yeah, definitely. The inspection is invaluable.
Yeah.
Understanding the condition of the house, the age of everything, and really being able to spend another couple hours in the house.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about like, you don't have to get into like the nitty gritty, but what does it look like when you come in to do a home inspection? Like, what are you really looking for Like, do you have a path that you take?
Definitely have a path that I take.
Okay, share.
There's definitely
Unless it's a secret.
a method to our madness, basically, is really what we like to say. And really, the inspection is very detailed. It's very thorough. And we want to, first of all, make the buyer feel comfortable, and let them know that they can ask us any questions. And we want them to be there for the inspection. We want them to walk through there with us. And we're going to take our time. We're going to typically start on the outside. We're going to do the outside first. And after we do the outside, we're going to go in, and after we're looking at chimney, roof, exterior, foundation on the outside, electrical.
Do you get up on the roof?
Most of them I will. Depending on the height of them, yes.
A 3-story Victorian in downtown Buffalo.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yes, probably not.
Drones.
But that's it. With binoculars, drones, you can really see everything. So it's kind of nice to have that.
Yeah.
Yes. And then after that, we're going inside, starting up into the attic area and, working our way down, and looking for anything, whether it's structural, moisture, and it gives us an idea of what's actually happening with the house. A lot of people are like, oh, I can't wait to get to the basement because, that's where everything happens, which, yes, a lot happens.
I don't go. That's why I don't go in basements.
And but doing the interior gives us an idea of what's happening also in the basement before we even get there.
Yeah.
So yes, and checking out electrical, windows, everything.
And it's nice. And you're not only looking for issues and problems, and really we're looking for health and safety issues and things that are causing heartburn for a new homeowner, but you're giving them a tour of their home and how to take care of their home and what's important. I know we've been in closets and up in looking in crawl spaces, and you call that new buyer over and say, hey, come on, I want you to take a look up here and see what's going on.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Walk them through.
Definitely educational. Want them well informed about the house that they're going to buy, whether it's a repair item or safety item or maintenance item. Want them to be involved with everything. Definitely.
Yeah. How did you get, when did you know I want to be a home inspector?
Great question. And
He still doesn't know.
Yeah. Are you still thinking about it? Still on the fence?
and I was thinking about this, and actually, I think it actually goes back to, and I'd like to almost go back a little bit farther to, Larry Watkins actually started Specsure in 1991.
All right. You know what? We got time.
So we got time. He started this in 91 when inspections weren't a thing. And so there were some good inspectors and there weren't some good inspectors. And then what's nice is in 2006, they ended up licensing everything. So you have to be a licensed home inspector. Even before that, I knew I wanted to be a home inspector, got licensed, and started doing inspections. Started with Specsure in about 2009. And then Jerry Glenn and I, my business partner, took it over about 3 years ago. Larry retired, and we've been continuing it on.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yes.
Would you say, so a lot of professions, it's like the shoemaker's, sons always have holes in their shoes. Do you feel like your home gets the attention that it deserves, or because you're like exhausted from inspecting other people's homes at the end of the day, are you like, I'll get to that another time?
No, I think it's probably the other side, actually, where you see everything, and even sometimes when you go over to somebody's house and you're sitting there and you look up and all of a sudden you start noticing things,
Right.
Probably with your profession too, it's the same thing that you walk in and.
For sure. Even in my own house, I'm like, good thing we're not selling this thing today. For sure. So winter is upon us. I mean, it's going to be here soon. It's been a really gorgeous stretch of nice weather.
It has. And, but I know that there are some tips that we were hoping you could share with us on how we can prepare to, is there a checklist, a fall checklist that we should be following in order to get our house winter ready?
Great question. I think everybody should even develop a checklist, have a checklist, and have it in their house. So it's something that you're not thinking about going, gee, did I do this? Did I do that? You're actually going back to it every single year saying, okay, I did 1, I did 2, I did 3, I did 4. So everybody has to develop a checklist.
Right?
Yes. And here at Get House, we are making it easy for our pod squad, and we are going to help you with a checklist today. It's your lucky day.
Yes. And I was thinking about something, and then what I wanted to say was, it's great. Sorry. Keeping those records, if someday you decide to sell, is really nice, right? Because then you almost have a guide for a new buyer to say, hey, these are all the things that I've done and maintained every year.
Like a little home manual.
Yes.
Yeah, great form to keep in your home records.
Yes,
Pop that guy in
nice.
the safe with the rest of your
Jen,
documents.
I think that you might have some of those.
Rolodex of
I feel like you have a whole
PDFs ready to go.
file cabinet, digital and paper, being like, here you go.
Redundant documents.
Right? Because then sometimes, like, let's say it's an older furnace or something like that, but they've had it serviced every year and it's still in great shape.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't mess with a good thing.
Right. Right.
And a lot of homeowners don't remember really how old their roof is, how old their furnace is, or stuff along. So keeping that record is definitely valuable.
Here's a tip. Take a Sharpie and write the date on your air filter when you put it into your furnace. There's your first tip.
Look at homeowner Judd with a
There you
little
go.
tip there.
There we go.
If this whole video thing doesn't work out, maybe Alan is looking for another
An
partner.
apprentice.
All right. Well, what you got on that list for us, Alan?
All right. Well, I did put together a little bit of a list that I think are just some things that people should think about and look to do every year.
All right.
Cover the AC unit. You know, you want to cover that AC unit on the outside in the fall. When the weather starts to turn, you're not going to use it anymore.
What are you going to cover it with?
You know what? That's it. You know, you can protect it with a piece of wood, tarp, anything along those lines.
Okay.
Not tarp, definitely tarp.
Yeah.
I think your house would
That'd be a really
I would
big
love to
piece of
see-
fish.
Actually, go down to Buffalo Vinyl and Boating Supply, and they could make like a carp or like a maybe like a more attractive fish, like a rainbow trout.
Why does my house smell
Canvas
so
covered.
fishy?
Or if you're like in like Florida or like the South, you could do like an orange roughy. Or like a drum, spotted.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
All right. So
swordfish.
I actually did not know that. And I have had homes with air conditioning and I've never covered it.
Yes.
Naughty.
You know what? It's just one of those little things that you think about.
I'm going to do it this time. Do you cover your AC? Look at you all judgy looking at me like, oh, she doesn't cover her AC. Do you cover your AC?
Well, unfortunately, when our air conditioning was replaced, they were having a special. So we have the most giant commercial AC unit in our house. Like, you would not believe this. I don't even know.
That's why it's so cold.
I know. I don't even know if they make tarps that big to cover it. It looks ridiculous.
I'm willing to bet you can probably go on Amazon and measure the dimensions of your, condenser evaporator. What do you call it?
Yeah, condenser.
Condenser. Okay. And then just buy something.
Right. Slip it over the top.
36 by 36 by 36.
Right.
Give or take.
Get those those bungee cords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strapping it on. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
On the
Good.
list.
I like
Look,
that
I'm
idea.
learning something.
I've never done it myself either, so I'm going to have to do that.
All right. We have homework.
So furnace, obviously, every year, I'll always recommend getting your furnace and AC, obviously, checked over. And I'm in a lot of houses, and I'm going to tell you, there's not a lot of people who do it, so you definitely want to. And the high efficiency units that are out there, they're higher efficiency, high maintenance. You want to get them looked at every year, definitely.
Just a good service, right?
And
Yes.
fall's the time to do it.
Fall's the time to do it. Clean your gutters. You make sure the downspouts are away from the house. Simple things like that. But again, it's one of those things you want to put on your list.
Because the downspouts, if they are like the water's coming out too close to your house, that can be a problem for eroding the foundation.
Exactly.
I've been to home inspection.
Yeah, you have. And I'm wondering, does anyone ever ask you, like when you're up there checking things out, to like hang Christmas lights or anything? They're like, well, you're on your ladder.
Light Pro.
It hasn't happened yet, but if it does after this, you're getting a phone call.
Don't go to Marnie's house for an inspection. I think she has something up her sleeve.
All right. What else is out there?
There's the shrubs and the trees, outside that you want to take care of, the arborvitaes you want to tie up, the shrubs you want to cover, stuff like that. Please don't ask me which ones, because I'm not
Not an arborist?
I'm not an arborist.
Yeah. But get those cleaned up.
The spigots on the outside, you want to make sure you shut that water off on the inside to the outside spigots.
So boil that water because you're going to need it all winter long. You shut off that water.
Yeah.
No, you shut off the water to the outside, not to the inside.
For all the houses built in 1912 with a big cistern in the basement, 500 gallon, start filling it.
Yeah.
Yes. Just shut the water off for the spigot.
Yeah. Not the whole house.
No.
Not the whole house.
What happens if you do not shut off the spigot? Then the pipes freeze.
Then the pipe freezes. Yes. And then it'll freeze on the inside. That pipe could burst, and next thing you have a water problem. Yes.
So
No water problem.
easy, turn it off. If you don't know where it is, call a friend.
Yes, definitely.
And another tip, most importantly, is disconnect the hose on the outside of the spigot, because the way that those frost-proof spigots are designed is the actual piping goes into your house like 8 to 12 inches.
Yep.
And it uses your basement crawl space as the warming section. And when you turn it off, the valve is actually on the inside of that 12-inch section.
Yeah.
So the intent is to rid that pipe section of water. But what happens is if you leave a hose connected and that hose happens to be pressurized, if you have like a garden nozzle at the end and there's water in the entire thing, you actually never get rid of that section of water, and your pipe will actually freeze and crack from the inside of your house. I've had it happen.
Speaking from experience.
And then when you
let's not
open
be
up
lazy.
the valve,
Just take the hose off. Don't be lazy.
Take it off and make sure that all of the water is out of that faucet.
Okay. You
Very
lost
good.
me at
Yes.
having to go in
How
the
do you make
basement.
sure that the water's out of the faucet?
The way that they're
How do you, like, blow it out?
installed, as long as the plumber's installing them correctly, they're installed at an angle. So once you shut off the water on the inside, you open it up on the outside, and
It should drip.
It should just drip.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you want to do this before it freezes. I mean, now.
Yes.
Right. So, like when we go to Florida and it's February, we always leave like the water in the kitchen faucet dripping just a little bit. Is that like an old wives' tale?
Oh,
Should we
good
be
question.
doing that?
Oh, good question. I kind of do that too.
You know what? And really, not that that's a bad thing at all. Just keeping it dripping, because then you don't have to worry about it. I would always have somebody check on your house when you go away. Another thing you may want to think about doing is just shutting off your main while you're gone. Then you don't have to worry about the water and the rest of the pipes.
Never thought of that.
That reminds me of the wet bandits from Home Alone. They leave the faucet on in every house that they rob.
Oh, right. Alone.
Signature mark.
That was their signature.
That was his
Yes.
signature. The
Yes.
wet bandits.
The wet bandit.
Bethany's a wet bandit.
Just for that 1 week when we go to Florida.
Wet bandit.
All right,
Great.
Alan. What
Great.
else is on your list?
The other thing that I would always recommend is starting your snowblower, getting that done now, making sure that that's working fine, getting new gas. If you have a generator, or a whole house generator. Whole house generators are great because they should self-test once a week. But you want to get those serviced every year. So if you do have a whole house generator, get it serviced every year. Otherwise, when you need it, it may not be working. Same thing with a portable generator. Make sure that that's running. I start mine up weekly. I'm going to just say I start mine up weekly.
Wow.
But
I was a little nervous.
but when you need it,
You want it to work.
Yeah.
you want
When
it.
was the last time you used the generator for real, though?
When was the last time I used it?
Yeah, like that you needed it.
That I really needed it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, I didn't, but I slept well and I was more comfortable knowing that if I did need it, that it was there.
Yeah, there was that storm, right? Where
19 years ago.
October.
No. Just a couple years ago, not 19 years ago.
Oh, I
When
thought
we
you were
lost-
talking about the October storm.
The
No. The
24th and 25th when we had that blizzard.
yeah, the blizzard where we lost
Lost
all
a
the
lot of
power,
power.
a lot of power for days.
And we've had tornadoes this year. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah,
so you never know.
yeah,
And
it
it's
could happen in the summer.
just be
sure.
prepared. And there's people out there and families out there that need it for even medical purposes. You need a
Right.
generator
Yeah.
that's,
Oxygen.
yes.
Yeah, I think more and more people have generators now.
I agree.
Yeah.
So the whole house generators, I know my neighbors have one of those. Does that have like a plug where like I could use it if
Hair dryer in case somebody's using the bathroom.
Unfortunately, no.
Some of those trucks are really big though, and they could generate your house. Some vehicles.
Yes, I think like the Ford
seen
F-150.
Ford Lightning.
Yeah.
The Lightning. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lightning.
It does.
Yes.
It's a good little plug.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe
Marnie's
just
gonna-
get one of those.
you're going to need it for your electric car.
Right. Right. I mean, that's another thing, right? Your power goes and you can't charge your car.
Right.
And then you're really landlocked. So
Garage locked.
great. No, good to know. So, all right. So now I am not only going to be covering my AC, I'm also going to the store to get a generator.
There's a lot out there. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Probably a good time to buy one.
Very good time.
You don't want to wait till
You need it.
like
then
till
they're
it's
all
an
gone.
emergency,
The day
and
of the
then
storm.
yeah, like right
That's,
before.
that's
like
when
we're
you
getting
can
a
find
blizzard
Judd in
tomorrow.
the Lowe's parking lot.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm going to put that on the holiday list. Generator.
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Sump pumps, definitely. You want to check your sump pump. And, do you have a backup sump pump? And if you have a backup sump pump, are you testing it on a regular basis? That's something I would definitely recommend. And like we talked about the power going out. If the power goes out, do you have a backup? What's your
Right.
plan?
So there's two types of backup sump pumps: a water and a battery.
Correct.
Which one is better? Does it matter?
I like the water one, and I have that in my house just because with a battery, that can, run out of juice at some point. So the water backup will just, keep working.
I feel like we need to take a little field trip to Alan's house to really see how a proper home should be run, because it sounds like it's very meticulous. Okay, great. And now the town of Amherst, right? They do, like, before you sell your house,
The time of sale inspection.
right? You need to have a sub pump inspection.
Yes.
That's not something that you guys do, right? That's through the town.
Correct.
And it's not all homes. It's like from a certain year and before, like 65 or
it's
something.
1965.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and depending on what the town of Amherst, town of Tonawanda, town of what their code is and what they want
Yeah.
to change it to, they'll just make that seller,
Make the
adhere to that
correction.
code. Yes.
And you can call somebody like Frank's or UTech or any one of those basement plumbing places, and they can help you out with getting that installed, whether
Yeah.
it's the water backup or a correction needed.
Yeah, that's good information.
Yeah.
Okay. What else should we be doing?
I have down here insulation and ventilation for your house, and I'm going to throw that out there because when it's wintertime and you're looking at ice damming, and is your house insulated or ventilated properly? And a lot of people don't know that. They don't understand the insulation ventilation, and that's something where you can contact a professional, contact a home inspector, come out, take a look at the house, and make those recommendations to prevent ice damming with a house.
Is it possible to overventilate your house?
Yes. Yeah.
What happens? What is the negative aspect?
And that's it. When you're really overventilating it, you're getting too much, heat leaving. So you just want to have you want to have your house to be able to breathe.
Right.
But you just don't want too much happening up there.
That's the beauty of old windows.
They breathe.
It's a
That's the
natural
perk,
ventilation.
I guess, of moving into an older home. All right. So, you're saying all these things. It's making me think that not if you are looking to buy or sell a home, great time to call a home inspector. But if you are very happy in your house, but you just want to be educated on it, call a home inspector to come do an inspection with you.
Definitely. We definitely recommend that because
Yeah.
And again, you hire an electrician, they're going to come in, they're going to do electrical. You're like, I want this fixed, I want this taken care of. You hire a plumber, they're going to come in, I want this taken care of. A home inspector is going to come in and take a look at everything. They're going to spend the 3 hours going through and just evaluating everything as they go through.
Yeah.
You're like a general practice physician
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
who could be referring
Good way
to
to
a
look at it.
specialist.
Yeah,
if you
Dr.
need
Allen.
one.
Yeah.
So
The
taking care
house doctor.
taking care of
Did you ever
homes
think
all
about
over Western New York.
Changing Specsure
the
to
name.
the house doctor.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
That is a very good name, actually.
Do you have a lot of folks call you? Not agents like us, but just homeowners saying, can you come do a walkthrough of our house?
Yes, not enough, but yes. I don't think it's a common practice with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people think about that unless they have an issue or they have a problem.
Right.
Then they're calling us up.
Yeah.
Where I've gotten those phone calls where people have had issues or problems with their house and they've had people out, but people haven't been able to diagnose it because they're looking for maybe a certain thing where I'm going in or a home inspector is going in and they're kind of evaluating everything. Marnie, you talked about an older home. The other thing that I would recommend is sealing up those, drafts that are coming in, whether it's below doors, windows, stuff along those lines, if people do have older windows.
And you're talking about windows, not the family members that are opening the door.
Blow them away.
What
See
about
you,
like
Grandma?
storm windows, right? Replacing, like taking out screens and putting in storm windows. Is that old school or do people still do that?
That's pretty much old school. Yes, unless you have the.
We have a really old house.
I was going to say it's if you have the old wood, storms
They sure do.
that you have to put in. Then that's a kind of a big job.
Yeah. Wow, I'm gonna have to go soon.
Right?
I have a lot. My list is getting very long.
This bear is not hibernating.
Yeah. Poor Lewis. Go home and be like, I just got us a whole bunch of stuff we have to do.
All right, Alan, anything else on your list?
The other thing I would leave you with is, and it's coming up with the daylight savings time, is changing the batteries and the smoke detectors and your carbon monoxide detectors.
Yes, that's
Oh.
very important.
And the new ones are sealed.
Yes.
I don't feel like they last 10 years, though. They say it's a 10-year sealed battery.
Fake news?
I think it's fake news. I haven't had one that lasted 10 years.
Oh, interesting.
How long does it last? 8?
Till the middle of the night when I am in a
Beeping.
deep sleep, and all of a sudden, you're
So as that brings up a good point. Just maybe have couple extra units in a box somewhere. They're not that expensive. Just pop it down, toss it, and put up a new one.
Because I, in fact, know that right now in the hallway, we have one where the battery is just hanging out because it did start beeping.
Yeah.
Not
But
safe.
then that
That's
wouldn't
not
be a
safe.
sealed, serviceable one, though.
No,
that would
so
not
we
be a
need to get
10-year
rid
one.
of it
Yeah.
and replace it with a new one
Yeah.
for sure. But it's not good.
Yeah.
When they're missing.
Is it hardwired or is it the 10-year?
No, it's not a hardwired. It's the old kind that you put the 9-volt battery in.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, because the hardwired ones still have the battery that you can put in there too.
I'm trying to think what I have. I have
Yeah, I don't think I
have
have
Nest.
any hard. Oh,
Oh,
I have
Real
Nest.
fancy.
I have my whole house wired with Nest because actually I to be honest with you, I wanted it because they have a motion detector nightlight that glows a very nice, inviting blue glow.
Who doesn't
So-
love the blue glow?
When I'm up at night walking down the hall, I mean, it's
like a disco.
It'll take the stairwell. It does each bedroom, so the kids, as soon as they start moving, everything it just lights up.
Lit up. Where you
nice
going?
ground pathway.
Papa wants to know who's sneaking out.
And it'll do a self-check, monthly, and then I get alerts on my phone.
oh, nice.
I was actually interested in it because specifically in the kitchen, because if you start cooking and, you have a little bit of a smoky, excess,
Oh, it's almost the
you
baby
can
smoky
actually, you
season.
can silence it from your phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is handy.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, not that I burn things in the kitchen, but
My son at school said every time he uses the air fryer, the smoke detector goes off. Every time. I don't know why. Overcooking,
yeah.
like leather. Judd has a good home inspection story from when you had the home inspection at the house that you sold. We accepted an offer, and the home inspection is the following day.
Oh, yeah.
And you had a little electrical situation.
Yeah, we had some, oh, geez, what a mess. Anyways, it ended up turning out fine.
there's that word again. All right, Pot Spot. I'm going to let you in on a little secret because I shared this earlier
Fine is
with
the
my
equivalent
friend.
of scratching your nails on the chalkboard.
I am not a fan of the word fine. Now I know anyone that's listening is probably going to just start bombarding me with texts on like, hope your day is fine. But I know throwing it out there is really opening myself up. But I want to share because,
Yes.
I'm in a sharing kind of mood that I think the word fine is very mediocre. And these two, Bethany and Judd, use the word fine a lot. And it's taken me almost 2 years to share.
It's an
that
ambiguous statement that can be taken the wrong way. It can be taken out of context.
It hurts my feelings, actually.
If the listener does not know what you mean by it.
The excitement in your voice.
Yeah.
I mean, I just didn't realize when you said,
It hurts
I'll
my-
get there at 9, and I said, that's fine.
And my response was like, okay, 8:30.
Like 9 was really fine. There was nothing wrong with
That's
9.
fine if you just want to meet the bare minimum. If you only want to do 13 pieces of flair.
Exactly.
The DPS report.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's fine. But
Right. How'd I just do on that test?
Fine.
I mean, it was
it
fine.
was
So
fine.
not great. Okay, I see. So you bombed it. Right? Like that's how I feel when my kids say fine. Like
Right.
so. Anyways, did you guys grow up with the word fine? Do you know? Like, is it something that
I
you?
don't know.
Because
I
you
don't
both say it a
remember.
lot.
I don't know.
I don't even notice that I say it, but I will now.
Yeah. That's great.
That's what I need. I need a little oomph, a little more
You
enthusiasm.
need a hype man. You need a hype man to follow
Unless
you
you
around.
really think like not so great, it's fine.
Right? Ellen, do you use the word fine on your home inspections?
I'm thinking about it now. When someone asks me, how's the house?
Needs improvement.
Fine. No, I'm not
It's
going to use
fine.
it.
It's
No.
not
Yeah.
one I would
I'm not gonna
buy.
If I was a buyer and I heard the home inspector be like, it's fine, I'd be like, I'm out. Pull the offer.
Nowhere. He's
Yeah.
going to be reviewing every.
Alan, no, honestly, like, what do you think of the word fine?
And Marty, I am in your court with this one.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel like we were set up.
Passive aggressive statement that
Yeah.
can be taken the wrong way.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad we're all on the same
I
page.
acknowledge that.
Okay. All right.
right.
And you know what? I feel so much better now that I got it off my chest. It was like a long time
Weight
building.
lifted.
Yeah.
I'll be more mindful.
I love you guys.
Okay, so back to the home inspection.
Yeah.
Judd,
Everything turned out great.
everything turned out great.
We
in
had
the
a
end,
successful inspection.
but there was a wiring glitch.
Yeah, there was. But everything was fixed. And
It was fixed because Judd at the
we got
last
it-
minute banged on that electrical box. And
We got it taken care
made
of.
it work. Made it work.
Yeah.
Like the Fonz.
Yes, exactly.
Sure was.
Yeah. The fist on the jukebox. Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And then we had light.
Yep.
Yeah, home inspections are important. And bottom line, right? They make a difference. And you do great work. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing.
Alan, what is your contact information in case any listeners want to reach out and maybe have like a checklist ready to go that you can just email them, or your contact information? How do people reach you?
They could do it by either going on our website, which is www.specsure.com, or calling us up at 881-1914. And, we'll be more than happy to, send them a checklist, talk to them about, or even set up a home inspection with them if they want to have a home inspection done just to get an evaluation of their home.
Perfect. Great.
They can go on the Google and find Specsure.
Oh, yeah.
Alan Willard.
Alan loves the Google.
Alan, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much for having me. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Information.
thanks.
What a fun field trip today.
I know we're on a field trip.
We've never been on a school field trip together.
It's like we're in grade school.
Fun.
So today, Pod Squad, we are at the Elmwood Franklin School right here in Buffalo, New York. And it is a gorgeous fall day.
I would love this office.
I-
You have to be really important to get this office, I think.
Or really bad if you have to visit this office. So we are here with the head of school, Ryan Kimmet, who is in his 4th year of head at school at the Elmwood Franklin School. And the leaves are changing. These windows are stunning.
I love it.
And this is so fun. We're so happy to be here and
Oh,
to
I'm
talk
so
with
happy
you.
to have you here.
Yeah,
Thanks for being here.
We cannot wait to learn all about Elmwood Franklin and talk to you about your experience since moving to Buffalo.
Yeah.
And hearing a little bit more about what's happening in education here in Western New York, as well as, in America, really.
Right.
Like,
Sure.
I know it's happening everywhere.
So Elmwood Franklin goes K through 8.
We're pre-K through 8. So
pre-K.
we start with
Okay.
3-year-olds who are adorable and lots of fun. Anytime I'm having a bad day, I can just go into the 3-year-olds classroom and immediately I feel better. Yes, all the way up through 8th grade. So 3-year-olds through 14-year-olds all in one building together.
Nice. And what's the average class size here?
Yeah, so it's a range. In our youngest grades, our classes are around 12 students per class. And then as they get a little bit older, that grows to 16, 17, 18 in a class. And then they split off again in the middle school grades and have smaller sections for math and for science and languages and things like that as well.
In what year did Elmwood Franklin, was it founded?
So this is our 129th year. So
Wow.
you can count backwards from there, and it's in the 1850s. Yeah.
Yeah, don't make me count backwards.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be like cruel thing to do,
Yes.
Mr. Kimmet. That would be like-
I did hear somebody, it was online maybe, that they were trying to redo the way you say the alphabet song to make it like they were leaving out, it sounded like you were leaving out letters. That stressed me.
We still do the traditional
You do the
alphabet
traditional.
song here. We haven't changed the alphabet.
Oh, I
yet.
didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to Google that.
Yes. It was-
Why would
it
you
was
want to
not-
redo the
I
alphabet
don't
song?
know. It
I
was
mean, why
very-
mess with a good thing?
Right.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
No.
The LMNOP, I think those were the ones they were trying to get more clarity on. She went too fast during that. So
More clarity.
I didn't love it. I
Interesting.
didn't love it.
All right. Well, we all learn the alphabet with it.
That's
so.
right.
Okay.
That's right. So Elmwood Franklin is an independent school.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so I think, in the market of schools in Buffalo and elsewhere, you'll see things like public schools, which most of us are familiar with. And then there are, what you might call private schools, which could either be a religious one or a secular independent school like Elmwood Franklin. And that means that We aren't under the state regulations. We would say that we exceed the state regulations here. So we're not following a Regents curriculum. We're creating our own curriculum here in all of our grades, pre-K through 8th grade. And we think that allows our students to learn in the ways that best suit their needs, and our teachers to develop curriculum and program that is cutting edge and exciting and responsive to our student needs, and really meets the overall needs of our community as well. And I think sort of the results of that we see, as far as our pre-K through 8th grade students, where they graduate, what happens when they graduate and leave Elmwood Franklin School, is they get into their top choice schools in the Buffalo area, whether that's going to a Catholic school or another independent school, or many go on back to their public schools as well. And in those environments, they are well equipped with strong study skills. They know how to advocate for themselves. They perform well on tests. Our students, 2/3 of our graduates report that they're in honors level classes when they go off to their high schools. And then they carry those skill sets with them through high school and on into what we hope is a very successful college career and a life, most importantly, right? We want to build those skills here that will allow them to be successful people of the world.
Yeah. I love that. It's the foundation,
Yeah.
right? It's like starting at the bottom and giving them all the tools they need. So it's in their back pocket. So when they're older, they can always reach in and know that, like, oh yeah, this is what I learned here at Elmwood Franklin.
That's right. I mean, these years, right? You're at Elmwood Franklin from age 3 to age 14. These are the foundational years where everything that you are going to need to know, and the building blocks for how you learn and how to advocate for yourself as a learner and study skills, all of those things are formed here. But also, these are the years where you're going to discover what you love and what your passions are. And I think that's something actually I think we do really, really well here. I use my son as an example, who's in 7th grade. He is simultaneously in the musical, on the soccer team, on the robotics team, as well as thriving in all of his classes. We want our students to try everything in these years. Figure out what you love, figure out what you're good at. When you get to high school and beyond, you're probably going to have to choose, am I going to be on the sports team or am I going to be in the musical? But here we want everyone to be able to do everything, try a little bit of everything, and see where your passions are, discover your passions.
He's a Renaissance guy.
He is. But the school is designed to support that. So it's not just him, right? It's all of our students.
Yeah, that's great. And you also have a really strong leadership program.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so again, part of that's our design as a pre-K through 8th grade school, that you're not waiting until high school to get the opportunities to lead the school. But for example, our 4th graders they're the leaders of our lower school. So they're going to be the ones that lead our assemblies and run announcements in assemblies. They're going to be the ones that are reading to their partner class in what we call Prep 2, which is our kindergarten class. They're going to have their buddies that they're reading to down there and showing, this is what it looks like when you get a little bit older here. You're going to be the ones, guiding the way and leading. And then all the way up through our 8th graders, a different 8th grader each week leads our upper school assembly, not just with the announcements and the news and the updates, but each 8th grader writes an essay about their beliefs. We call it This I Believe. And they get in front of the whole school and share their beliefs and their essays and the things that they have learned to be passionate about and care for during their time at Elmwood Franklin. They share that with the community. So it's really powerful leadership moment, a powerful public speaking moment. Some of our kids use those essays as their high school application essays as well. So it's a really special moment for each individual 8th grader.
Yeah. They learn responsibility, right?
Absolutely.
And a lot of ownership there.
Yep.
I think that's one of the things that's really nice about schools where you do have the younger up to 8th grade.
Right.
Because I know even for Paige, they had mass buddies when they went to mass on Fridays. So they always sat with a kindergartner and taught them, just how to behave and how to be respectful. And
I'm sure Paige was a beautiful role model for that.
She was a great role model. But she, I think all of the students, it just really helped teach both sides and the younger kids too, how to learn and how to behave.
Yeah, I mean, especially in those middle school years where our society has such an urge to make kids grow up faster and start acting like older kids sooner and sooner, but we want to keep our students young as long as possible. So if you're a 7th or 8th grader and you're spending your time with 4th graders and 3rd graders and kindergartners instead of 17-year-olds, we think that's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a life skill for when you're out in the workforce, right? You've got people that are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. So
Right.
You have to learn to work with the different
Yeah.
generations and
For sure.
ages.
Yeah, independent schools are really awesome because, you know, you don't have to fit into any kind of box.
Right.
You can be who you are, and I know Elmwood Franklin, right? It, like, you find yourself in a way that maybe a more traditional public school setting wouldn't allow that same piece. I mean, I shouldn't, that's a generalization, but, you know, it's just, in my experience, it's been really cool to see kids find themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's lots of great schools in every model.
We're so lucky.
Yeah,
we're so lucky.
in Buffalo
Western New
to
York
have-
is so lucky to have so many great
Right.
schools.
That's right. And I think one of the things that a school like ours does really well is, since we have such spectacular teachers who are in support of the mission of the school and love this place, many of whom who have been here for 10, 20, 30 years, the relationships that they build with our students and families are second to none. So when you're known as a student, your teacher knows who you are, what you're good at, what you need a little extra support with, what your passions are, all of those things, you can really thrive because you're known, you're seen, you're valued, and that's something we do really well here.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. So what's your take on, you know, like technology?
Yeah.
All of this, like, you know, how do you
Social
know?
media, the struggle is real for those
there's so
young
much.
teens.
Yeah.
Right. There's so much, right? And when I think
there's
back when
so much.
I was the age that my kids are now, I was sitting in front of an Apple II computer, which was brand new at the time. And I think you could program the mouse or the turtle, I think it was, to go forward. And that was about all you could do.
Right? And was there a game too, like that was like the wilderness game or something? Oregon Trail.
of course. Yes.
We knew
Yeah,
Judd would
on the
know
early
that.
Macintosh, yeah.
Those were the days, Judd.
Right. So a lot has changed, right? And it's changing really rapidly now in a whole bunch of ways. So there's some things that we do really proactively to teach about technology, and then there's some other sort of cautionary tales that we keep our eyes really closely on. So we have a one-to-one iPad program at our school, and we start that kind of formally in 4th grade, where kids receive an iPad and they learn how to use it. And it's kind of like an iPad with training wheels on it. There's a lot of restrictions that are on it. They're not able to use it for texting or anything along those lines, but they are learning how to use this tool to manage their homework and to complete assignments. And you'll see kids running around using iMovie with their iPads, filming projects and things that we never had available as options to us. So really exciting
cool.
and powerful tools in that way. And then that carries on through our upper grades. We also have carts of iPads available for our younger kids, but we use those sporadically in the younger grades because we still think it's really important that kids learn how to hold a pencil properly and how to write in cursive and all of these skills that could disappear if you let them, that we think are really foundational skills. There's still a lot of great research out there that when you're taking notes by hand with a pen to paper, it commits to memory in a way that's different than typing on a keyboard.
Right.
So we still value those kind of core essential skills. But, you know, the things to worry about are, now we live in an age where you could walk into a 3rd grade class and ask the kids who has a cell phone in this class, and you'd see hands going up already in that age. So those are things we want to be really thoughtful about and be careful about the ways that those can be used properly and the ways that they can have a negative impact on our students as well. So the biggest and most obvious thing is, we learned a couple of years ago that if students have access to their phones during the day, that's going to create a distraction that not only is, might take them away from their studies in the moment because their phone rings or something like that. But in fact, the research is saying that even having a phone in your pocket, even if it doesn't vibrate, that creates a cognitive distraction that is going to inhibit your ability to perform well at the task in hand. So just so that back of your mind, I know I've got my phone and that's a thing I like to check and look at. We want to take that out of the equation because it's impacting learning in a negative way. So we ask, particularly in our upper grades where many of our students have phones, we certainly recognize that kids might need to have a phone and your transportation, getting home, having communication with your parents, but those phones aren't accessible to you during the day. So when you get to homeroom, if my son's in 7th grade, all the 7th grade students put their phones into a box that we've created. Those stay there for the day. Of course, if there's an emergency, we can access those. But generally, our policy is if you need to contact home, you'll ask a teacher to do that. And otherwise, those things are off, they're away. It reduces that sort of cognitive interruption that might happen otherwise. So that's sort of number one with the phones. And then number two is really thinking about what is the impact of things. You mentioned social media. So thinking about how can we teach in homeroom, in our life skills curriculum, sort of safe ways to navigate that. We have occasionally brought in guest speakers to talk about, what's really happening to things like self-esteem when kids are perpetually looking at others' sort of best versions of their life on Instagram.
Right.
And all of those kinds of things are things we need to proactively teach towards.
I mean, I could use that class.
Me too.
Yeah. And the technology is moving so fast too, right? That things are changing. There's apps that are new tomorrow that we weren't thinking of today. So our teachers and our technology team are constantly thinking about it. So AI is kind of the next version of this and how this impacts things like academic integrity, right? We used to all have to think about plagiarism in a certain way in the old days of you wouldn't copy out of a book or someone else's paper.
You'd have to go to a file cabinet and get it though. So.
Right.
Right? But now you can just go to like Chat GBT or whatever and put something in and it can write an essay for you.
Sure can.
Yep. So we teach students about that and what's acceptable and what isn't. And ideally, this is a tool we can use constructively to help us think about ideas and to help organize thoughts and ideas in it, but not as an original content producing device. So really teaching that distinction to our kids. A lot of the writing we do, especially in our upper grades, is we do it in class for that reason. So we can see and teach to the writing process in real time.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great.
And you don't think about things like cursive. I know you mentioned cursive, right? And a lot of the schools don't teach cursive anymore. The struggle is real when it comes to birthday cards for my kids because they didn't have cursive. And if somebody writes them a birthday card in cursive, it's really hard for them to read.
Yeah.
It's really hard for them to read. So you don't think about the impacts like long term, not just short term.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, right? Mm-hmm. Did you ever learn calligraphy?
Oh, I sure did.
I bet you were good at that.
I think my wedding invitations were written in calligraphy.
I'm going to get you that. I'm going to get you a
fancy
kit for the holidays.
with a pen. With the inkwell. I would like that, I think. And a karaoke kit.
Okay. So do you think, are most schools going in this direction then, as far as you talked about taking the phones and putting them aside at least during the school day?
I think so. Yeah, you're starting to see in the news. This is kind of a hot topic.
It's been a hot topic on the news.
There are, I don't know if it was in the state of California, there was some whole mandate there for this kind of thing. And locally, right, there are some schools that kind of follow the practices that we do, others that aren't quite there yet, and still some others that go maybe even a step further and have kind of locking devices that students, once they put their phone in there at the beginning of the day, they physically can't access it until the end of the day. It does bring up questions and sort of heated debate. I think parents like this perhaps more than students in some cases, but the teachers and even our students, I think, have seen the benefit of it's removing a distraction. So that's been really positive.
I mean, I'm one of those parents, and I can say that I know, teenagers have thoughts about, like, you're taking my phone away and I'm responsible and I'm okay. But what I have witnessed is a lot more interaction during, like, the non-academic time, right? Like during lunch. They're eye contact, they're talking to each other rather than just like scrolling on the phone and like eating and having their phone there. So there's so many, just the social emotional side of it is huge, being able to take away that little computer that's in your pocket.
And those skills, right, are I would argue just as important as the foundational academic skills, learning how to have relationships with other people and make eye contact and make good conversation. When you go out into the world, whatever line of work you're in, that's almost always going to be a critical element to your success.
Yeah. So you've been here for 4 years now.
Yeah.
What do you think of Buffalo?
Love it. So I grew up in Rochester, so
Okay.
I'm not new to Western New York.
All right. So have you always been a Bills fan?
Always that. I was just going to go there. Always. In fact, when we lived, my family and I lived in Philadelphia for 7 years before this, and we were the only. My son couldn't figure out why no one else was wearing a Josh Allen jersey on, wear your jersey day or whatever.
Right.
There was a lot of Eagles green there.
Okay.
But yes, lifelong Bills fan, lived through the 90s and all of that, and very happy to be home. It's interesting to sort of grow up in Rochester, be away from Western New York for many, many years, and then come back and to see Buffalo now and how exciting this city is, how much growth there is. I mean, we have absolutely fallen in love with this city and just really made our home here, and it's been a wonderful experience.
Yeah. Well, Buffalo is so lucky to have the Kimmets here.
Oh, you're nice to see.
So, and I see a guitar behind you.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Are you a musician? And
So in another life, I played a lot of music and played in a lot of bands growing up in Rochester and then off through college and beyond. And nowadays, I bring it around to classrooms with me or play at assemblies. So it kind of has a home here in my office. But I joke, and it's actually true, the audiences of playing in front of a kindergarten classroom are much more receptive and warmer and more enthusiastic than the half-empty bars at 2 a.m. that I played at once upon a time.
They're real kind in
Yes.
kindergarten.
I've changed the set list. It's a little more down by the bay and apples and bananas and songs like that. But no, it's lots of fun, and it gives me an opportunity to get out of this office and to be with the students and to have a little fun.
Yeah,
with them.
connect on a different level.
Yeah, that's right.
So fun. So maybe when we're done, we can hear a little too.
I would love that.
You know, maybe Judd, you can join in too.
So is there a teacher or a class that's definitely like a fan favorite for the kids?
Oh, there's so many. It'd be hard to choose just one. I mean, again, we have some really remarkable and legendary teachers here, many of whom have been here for a really long time. But yes, the long answer is all of them. But we have a really remarkable theater program here. Our students start performing in plays at the earliest ages, and those grow into wonderful musicals and other theatrical productions as well. If you were to go into the cafeteria right now and interview students, each one would have a different teacher that they say is their favorite.
Their favorite?
Yeah.
If someone is like looking to come to Elmwood Franklin, if they're curious about it, they just pick up the phone and call, or you do tours?
Yes.
If they could come for a visit?
All of the above. So we
Okay.
welcome and do a lot of work with individualized tours. We have open houses throughout the year, but right now we're kind of in the individual tour season. So people are welcome to reach out to us either online or by phone and set up a tour. And we love showing off all the wonderful things that we do here, showing off our students, and having personalized tours, spending as much time with prospective families as they need.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And you don't have to live in Buffalo, right? You have all different zip codes coming
We have
here.
all different zip codes. We have kids coming up from East Aurora and Orchard Park and down from Clarence and really Niagara Falls region, Grand Island. So really everywhere.
Yeah. That's the beauty. It's like geographically diverse, and there's just, you get a lot out of the community.
That's right.
Yeah. Speaking of the faculty, I know that you have a lot of faculty that come back too, right?
Yeah.
It's like a second home for them.
Yeah.
And so what's that day called when you have like everyone that comes back for like a visit or something?
So we call them the REFs, REFS, which stands for Retired Elmwood Franklin Staff.
Okay.
And we sort of formally do an event for them once a year where that many of them come back. I give an address to that group. But
I mean, they travel. Like they'll travel
Right,
back to
it's a
Buffalo
reunion.
to come.
It's a reunion.
Yeah, and it's
How much
it's kind of a homecoming for them.
Right.
And
Yeah.
especially folks
So
that
sweet.
are recently retired. They get lots of hugs from their former students, but a
really
lot of
sweet.
attention from their former colleagues as well. So that kind of speaks to the type of community that we are, that they still stay connected even years after they've retired. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh. Do you have any other questions for Ryan?
I'm just thinking back on my theater career.
I know.
and
I'm thinking. I'm
I-
seeing
I
you're being very
really-
nostalgic right
really
now. You're like,
missed the mark. I would have done better in that Annie audition had I come here.
what's your musical this year?
I don't know yet what the musical is this
it
year.
hasn't
That
been announced. It's a
Hasn't
secret.
been announced.
Hasn't
It's
been
a
There's
revealed.
still time to audition.
Yes. often a lot of the work we do in the summer also is that we have a very robust theater camp that people that don't go to Elmwood Franklin, we have a whole series of camps we do. But
You have an amazing summer camp.
We do.
Yeah, tell
program.
us about your summer camp.
Yes. So it is usually 7 or 8 weeks in the summer. For our little ones, it's a sort of a typical summer camp experience. You've got your camp counselors. You're going to go swimming. You're going to go on field trips. There's going to be all sorts of activities that you do throughout the day. And then as you get older, they become specialized camps. So our onstage theater camp is one of those things. Those happen in 2-week sessions where you get your script on day one, and on the last day of the second week, you're putting on a production. So those are pretty remarkable and fun. But we do an Adirondack camping experience as one of our camps. We have robotics and coding camps, so kind of anything under the sun. And yes, those are open to the entire community. So we have plenty of Elmwood Franklin kids that go to those camps, but at least half, if not more, that are from other schools throughout the Buffalo area.
That's awesome. And do you do any camps like during the breaks?
We do, yeah. So we have, for example, over our winter break, we call it our winter active camp, because certainly there are many parents in our community who are taking 2 weeks off for a winter break when there are 2 working parents is really complicated. So we do offer those. They're a little more specialized and but very engaging and fun for those kiddos as well.
Great.
Yeah.
I know you have a lot of sports teams. And I've seen your little bus that travels around and you go to different schools.
Yes, go Eagles.
Go Eagles. There you go. So you can leave Philly, but you can't leave.
That's right. Yes,
right? The Eagles. You now have the Eagles in Buffalo.
You got it.
That's
yeah.
perfect.
So we have everything from a soccer program to ice hockey to baseball. We have a wonderful ski club that this year is going to be skiing at Hollymont. So we're excited about that.
Cool.
So we try to offer just as a robust series of offerings with our athletics as we do in the rest of our program.
Nice. So your weekend on, what's your favorite thing to visit and do in Western New York?
Great question. I do like to ski when it's snowy, so I spend a lot of time doing that in the winter. But a lot of my time these days is chauffeuring my 2 children around to their various activities and sporting events, so I get a lot of joy out of watching them do the things they love also.
Right. I was just having that conversation with a friend. We were talking about how much fun it was to live in an area like Snyder, Williamsville, where you can walk when the kids are little and take them in the stroller and have fun places to go. And like, they're along for the ride. And then as they continue to get older, it's really like now you're along for the ride. Because
you're the Uber.
Yes, you have so many sporting events and activities and driving here and there.
And I'm lucky because my 2 children go to school here with me. So there's a lot of overlap in our worlds. And again, it's just part of that big Elmwood Franklin community.
Right.
That's so nice. Do you happen to know the song West Virginia? What's it called?
Country Roads?
Country Roads.
Country Roads?
Sure.
All right.
Because it happens to be Bethany's favorite song.
Get that guitar. Get that guitar, Judd.
I'm thinking maybe we
You're going to put me on the hot seat with the guitar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I wasn't expecting this.
Oh.
I'll see if
Wait till you hear about Summer Concert Series.
Oh, yeah.
Country roads take me home to a place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads. How about that?
Yay. And look.
Cole will never hear it because he's not a podcast listener.
Cole, that was for you. Her son goes
Cole,
there.
for you. We'll post it on social media, so maybe you'll hear it someday.
So, and we'll do a little cheer. Ready? Give it an E.
Give it an E.
F. S.
Elmwood Franklin, go
Eagles.
Eagles.
Thank you, Ryan.
Oh, thank you guys very much. That was super fun.
This was great. Thank you for your knowledge on education and sharing this beautiful community with us today.
And creating leaders in our community. We need more of that.
Yes,
for sure.
We do. Thanks.
Thank you.
My gosh, what a great episode.
I know.
Love talking with Alan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ryan Kimmet.
And Ryan
Both good guys.
Kimmet.
Yeah.
Yes.
I loved when Ryan pulled out the guitar.
Oh, he has a great voice.
That was
a
a little added treat.
Yeah.
Yes, and a little tribute to Cole. I know you're not watching, but we miss you and love you so much.
Country
We
roads,
sang
buddy.
to you. We
Country
sang
roads.
to you, Cole.
I'll send you the clip. I'll
Yeah.
send you the clip.
Yeah. No, but they both had really amazing things to say. And
Some good tips.
Yeah.
I mean, when you are thinking about home inspections and fall and getting your house ready for winter, some good things to save your house from trouble.
I took notes.
Let
Yeah.
us know how those windows turn out. Keep
Yeah.
that draft out of your
Yeah,
house.
yeah, right. Yeah. And like learning about Elmwood Franklin and how to handle some AI and social media
trends,
pieces.
new trends.
Happening. Yeah, that's
Almost makes me feel old.
almost
Almost.
until we put on John Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Then we feel really old.
It's a good testament to Buffalo, I think, as a community as a whole. I mean, just the opportunities that you have when you're a young family and, maybe just starting out, or even the possibility of relocating anywhere around the United States. Buffalo's a pretty attractive city. We have a lot of resources, and it's an amazing place to raise a family.
It really is. Yeah.
Very
I-
family
yeah.
friendly. And I love the length that some of those teachers have been there, and that sweet reunion they do every year with the retired teachers.
The refs.
That's so much fun. So much fun. And I know Maple East does something similar. I've seen that too, where the retired teachers get together. It's
Yeah.
nice to have that longevity and
Yeah.
that history.
And again, I mean, pulling it back full circle, right? It was like that the magazine when they talked about
This
being able
magazine?
to this magazine being able to talk about working together and building that relationship both inside the workplace and outside. I mean, that happens everywhere you go. So that is they experience that at schools and all over.
Very good. Any ladies, any before we wrap up the month of November, what are the plans for Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, I always host at my house. I like to put on that apron and roast that turkey.
Yeah, she's very Martha Stewart. Hashtag Martha Stewart.
I'll agree. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, are you going to do the Smokies?
No, that's more winter holiday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not jump the gun.
Yeah, no,
Jug goes
too
to
soon.
Rochester.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, do you bring a dish?
My brother-in-law has been great about making the meals for the past few years, but actually this year I'm not sure. I think there may be. I think maybe he might have some shoulder surgery this year. So I think people kind of might sit back in Buffalo and in Rochester and just keep things a little bit smaller this year.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Want to come over? I can order a bigger turkey.
It's a possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
There we go. All right.
Friendsgiving. We should do a Friendsgiving sometime. That would be a lot of fun.
Oh, we should do a Friendsgiving.
I go to
Yeah.
a Friendsgiving that I get invited to every year. I love it.
Yeah.
Love
No,
it.
Friendsgiving is really special. It's fun. You can kind of do Friendsgiving either before or after. So,
Hope I'm in the invite list, Julie.
and
Just in case she was going to take me off this year.
yeah, Julie, no chance.
No,
No
she
chance.
won't.
Now you have to invite Bethany. Yeah, we go to Canada actually.
Perfect.
We always have Thanksgiving up in Canada, which is a little funny, but which is
Yeah, because
really
it's
nice.
not their time for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they
Their
just
Thanksgiving
had
is-
it in October.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Nice walk on the beach.
Yeah, nice walk on the beach, and we, make a lot of food. Usually, I think we're doing the turkey trot. We usually do the turkey trot in the morning, and then we go. But I still haven't signed up yet, so questionable.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and then shopping on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have a high school reunion the Saturday following
Oh, that's
Thanksgiving.
That's the same time as the disco.
Disco.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We enjoyed that last year.
That was
too.
really fun.
Yeah, my class has not been very good about keeping up with reunions. So the last reunion that we had was the 15th.
Is this Canisius?
This is Orchard Park.
Or Orchard
Yeah,
Park?
long
Okay.
time ago. So I think this is 30th or 35th, somewhere around 30 maybe. And it's been a long time.
Little gray area.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
When that
Yeah.
graduation
When did I
date was.
graduate? What is?
I don't remember. But that being said, I'm looking forward to seeing some older familiar faces and, taking it off of social media and getting together in person. And actually it's being held at a friend of mine owns a barbecue restaurant, East Eden Tavern.
Oh.
Yeah, East Eden Tavern Smokehouse. And so excited to go out there and have some of this great food. And
How many people are going to reunion, do you think?
Maybe 30 to 40. We'll see.
When have you ever gone into the reunion and been like, "Oh man, I look good"?
Yes, yes and no. I've actually looked back at pictures of myself in comparison of my classmates, and I'm like, I gotta
Step it up.
Step
a
it
little.
up.
yeah, get in the
looking
turkey
old.
trot. I have to get more turkey trots for me. I think in all, it's just nice to catch up with everybody
Yeah.
and talk about business and family and see who's doing what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of my friends don't even live in Buffalo. Most of the guys are, at least at New York City, and from grad school, everybody's down in the South still, so see.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Yes.
Thanksgiving.
And we'll be back in December
So
with
much
some
to be
fun
thankful
places.
for.
Episode 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for both of you.
Likewise.
Thankful for
Thank you.
guys,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Mwah.
All right,
right.
girls. Have a great rest of the November.
Yeah. Peace out. Cheers.